That's still not clear, that's still turning, it's okay. To say, hey, I'm still not clear on this and everything, it's all right, it's just, it's a process and, you know, an evolution. So, this is what 3.2 should look like, plus, this is what you're gonna film. This session, don't film this. You will refine this into this, and now that's what you're gonna film, and give us, and we'll give you feedback. Is that good? Is that clear? Because notice a lot of people are unclear what to film and all that.
Who wants to present?
I can try first. Go for it, bro.
Jimmy, while they're figuring it out, I'll ask you one question on that to be super, super clear. The one we're filming is activity 2 ultimately in our progression of the thing, or just the revised?
We don't need the warm up. We don't need the warm up. We want something
Activity.
warming up those.
Right, of course.
It's activity 2 because you have improved you have applied the improvements of 3.1, right? It just pushes
Okay.
your numbers. Look,
When you
look
say
at my
improved, like
numbers here.
revised and improved that same session, or improved like progressed and devised a different session than 3.1? That is like a progression.
You're progressing. Obviously.
So it's a new activity, not the same activity as 3.1, a new one that is a progression, like the next thing you would coach, built on that.
Look, guys, so you understand our position, okay? We wouldn't be able to know if you progress unless we know what your 3.1 looks like. So please progress your 3.1, refine your 3.1 and move it forward with a couple more extra players. So look at that. I have 43, but what do I have here?
Yeah, progression.
First, because he's gonna
Progress, and I added more players, it's probably the same. So that way you can.
Thank you. So that's the whole part. Feedback the whole time.
Yeah, there's
I would have been structured. I would have been so much more concentrated than that.
Vic, you got it. Alright guys, eyes, ears up here.
I think this is the time when recording the.
Hey guys,
No?
full attention up here. You had 30 minutes for yours. Now we're gonna give Victor our full attention and feedback.
Okay, guys, very simple drill, but it's not simple coaching points. Well, it is, but it's all about the coaching points. There we go. Okay, so basically doing it to start. This is my activity 1. Refined, pretty simple. My activity 2 is a lot more.
Before you get that, give us your objective, where you're on the field, principles,
So,
principles.
in the field, we are right in the 18 box. I'm really working on getting them comfortable with receiving and scoring, but also with holding the ball. So that's why my principles are providing options to play forward, which is getting familiar with scoring, and breaking lines to advance attack, which is protecting the ball with our bodies. Long enough so that the player can pass the ball to the right area of the field that's open, where we can transfer the possession. If they don't have the ball, I need those players to move to know that, I want them to know that they can create the golden chance. They are the answer. They don't just have to wait for the ball and say that no one passes it to them. And I want them to call it out. I want to hear these kids, all these voices of the kid, hey, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. I want them to call it out. My third point, and by the way, I'm not going to be saying this all the time. It's just going to be what I'm going to focus on. When we pass the ball, we want the ball to keep rolling so the ball is closer to our teammates. We don't want the ball to stop in front of them. We want to give the ball with quality, with bravery, with the right speed so we can control it, so we can start the golden attack. And my fourth point is if we can see our friend running, then we try to read their minds and kick the ball where we think they're going to be. My sub-principles are providing a pass option for the player on the ball and finding the free player to pass the ball. That's where, if I'm getting pressed, I want my player to be strong, I want my player to run and complete the pass. All the way it was uncomfortable, all the way it was hard, I wanted to complete the pass so that we can get closer to finding the free player. I mean, basically I was a free player, but there's a new free player, we know this. So, the player actions are controlling, protecting, scanning, passing, dribbling, and shooting, which is not actually my main importance, but I will be reading that. I want the players to move together towards the goal, while defenders shouldn't touch the ball. I'm sorry, defenders. I do give them goals, one of the word, I do give the defenders goals and a gate, give them a plug and a gate on one side. So if they do win the ball, they can work together and they can just dribble away into the gate, or they can create a nice diagonal pass into the plug hole. But my objective, of course, are my circles, my three. I want them to hold the ball long enough to pass the ball to create a square play. And the holding the ball, I want it to be rough. Shin guards on, boys. So 3v2, 18 by 25 field, big ball for attackers, one gate for defender. 5 active for 4 rounds, so 5 active for 4 blocks. And that'd be 4 blocks of about 7 balls, maybe 7 reps. Yeah, exactly. So a group of 5 stays for 4 reps, then 5 round bibs all already, which is important. The bibs have to be there. All that organization process has to be there before you guys tell me. I didn't actually mention that, so maybe I can refine this some more because we do want them to play for those 10 to 12, 15 minutes. Not me talking or me even stopping the ball. I want the kids to play to not have to be stopped. Which leads me into when I am going to give my coaching interactions. It will be when the ball is, when they've made a mistake and the same mistake 2 or twice, so that I can be needed. Because remember, we're not supposed to just give them the answer. We're supposed to create a plan and not necessarily step in right away so that we can be needed. We want to be needed as coaches so that we don't have to just be respected and them just assume that we know everything. We want to show them that we know what they need. So I'm going to step away and I'm going to tell them to create the golden chance. Maybe they don't give the ball with the bravery, maybe the defenders do not get forward. So that's what I say, if we don't have the ball, then we try to create the chance. If the defender's pushing us, then we protect the balls. I'll say that pretty much a lot. Every time the ball starts. Protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball. Can we protect it? What part of our body can we use to protect that? If I will explain that I'm looking for movement and passes that help us score. One of the things I said not to do is pass directly to your left or to your right. I don't want square balls. I make me throw up. I don't like square balls at all. I think everything bad starts with the square ball. So I want my players to be comfortable with that easy pass. I want them to even pass it a little bit diagonal, even if it's a centimeter. While the players are switching off, I'll remind them that they can hold the ball longer and their teammates should look to become an option. And yeah, so basically it's...
Can you scroll down to activity 2? We go there.
I have not done activity 2, but I have it here on paper, but I can explain it to you in a way. My activity 2 then progresses to something more advanced, like 35 yards or 15 yards. And I have 3 teams of 4 with aisle in the middle, where 2 players can stay in the middle so that they can be ready to transfer to the other side where we can play. If I could draw it up a little bit.
Let's do this. I want to see it. Since you don't have it on there, the feedback from them will be minimal. So why don't we do this? Why don't our next presenter start, and Victor, you and I can take a look at it here. So
Okay.
we can feedback that way, just so we get the most out of it.
Cover that, coach.
So just bring that here. Round of applause for Victor, guys. Bring your iPad, Victor. So you have that in front of you.
Want me to sit there?
Bring both your iPads in that session. And guys, no square passes this afternoon, please.
They made me run our emails just from Starbucks.
All right, so my main principle is passing. We're trying to break lines to score. My player actions are going to be driving, passing, supporting, and these are my coaching points listed. The warm-up will be pretty simple. It'll just be like a keep-up warm-up, and then like a partner keep-up. Really emphasizing passing, finding your teammates, connecting, It'll start as a 3v1, and then if I need to introduce difficulty, I'll turn it into a 3v2, and then if I need to introduce difficulty further this afternoon, I'll add a trailing defender. So it'll turn into a 3v3, but it wouldn't be 3 people here, it would be 2 here with a trailing defender. And I'll leave all that set up just in case we have to adapt to that mid-session. My coaching points would be, can we engage an opponent? Because driving is one of my player actions that I'm focusing on. Once we engage our opponent, can we find the open player? Once we are open and we are in front of the goal, can we score? And can we play fast? That one will come when I do add that player trailing behind, and it's going to emphasize the need to because what I notice sometimes a kid in a 3v2 will get the ball and he'll just stop and he'll just wait for the defender to act. And I want us to be able to play fast. I want us to play at game speed. And I'll evolve the difficulty. Kind of like Toomey said earlier, for activity 2, I would probably just add an extra line behind, and I would start the attack from further back. I would add the defenders on the field and probably a line of defending midfielders. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
For your coaching points, this is something just Adam said. All of those questions are all yes or no. And I think for some of them, the only difference that you can make that would make them think a little bit more would just be how. How can we? Because if it's just can we score? Yes, no. Right? And he said he wants us to try to get them to think a little bit more with questions that are not just yes or no. So maybe just adding a how will get them thinking a little bit more.
Then they're open-ended, it encourages a conversation.
Yeah.
So which one is your team, or the one you're coaching?
The triangles.
So then it should be opposite.
Circles.
Yours go up.
Yeah, triangles go up.
Your team goes up, like when you're trying to explain to kids, because right now I was trying to figure out, but your team goes up always.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit. Let's see,
Cool. So triangles facing that way, you'll break
With the
it.
goal, yes,
Yeah.
correct.
I like it.
Good job.
Oh, wait up. You got 2 great feedback points from the coaches, it's awesome. Coaches, it is good, it's very organized. And passing is not a principle. I think you mean something different. Can you explain to us what you mean by passing?
What would the main principle be? Attacking?
Yeah.
Attacking is the moment.
Your main
Principle is break the line.
Maybe break the line to build up or something.
Break the lines to score, right?
Because what I look at your driving, you said driving, right?
Yeah.
Driving is not passive.
Yeah.
So-
Fair.
And then you have passing in your player actions.
Yeah.
Or is it a principle or is it an action?
Yeah. So
You know what I'm saying?
main principle would be attacking.
No.
Or
The
main principle.
moment of the game, you're attacking, right?
Yeah.
The situation is you're doing something. Like, you know, Alicia says you're breaking lines or
Actually,
you're building up.
Main principle could be finishing the attack. That's what it looks like.
But it's passing, no one's passing.
Oh, no one's passing. Working on
So-
yeah, the ball.
So, go ahead, put you're attacking, right?
Yeah.
Game moment.
Cool.
The game moment,
Big attacking.
attacking. But what is the situation in that attacking? What are you doing as a team?
Breaking lines to score.
There you go. So that's gonna be your main principle,
So the sub principle would be
right?
So principle, you could go create appropriate height and depth.
There you go.
provide a passing option.
Something that's connected with it to the narrative.
Vertical diagonal passes to get into those options. I think that one passes diagonal
So
passes,
that-
we can pass
Main principle.
Yeah.
MP,
yeah.
so your MP is break lines to score.
And then
And then you're gonna need 2 sub-principles, like Julian says. One is what?
You could provide vertical and diagonal passing options.
So you're creating height and width,
Yes.
and then create passing options high up the field.
provide passing options. And what was the other one?
Or creating height and width instead,
Yes. Create appropriate height and width.
right? See now how the narrative,
Yeah.
you know, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
And you play action on passing, driving, the coaching points to that point. Can we, they're gonna say yes or no,
Yeah.
but then you're gonna ask how.
Yeah.
The point is about how,
Yeah.
not just what.
Right.
What
Is that, so, this is your, having your activity two?
This is my activity one.
Okay, but this is not the one you're gonna film. You're gonna film your activity 2,
Two.
because you've refined that activity from 3.1 into activity 2. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Apply that feedback and all that. Good. Is that good? But guys, do you see how clean it is? It just makes it clean. Makes it clean for you, the coaches, makes it clean for the, the educators. You just read it, there's your plan, okay? It's a hypothesis. It may work on the field, it may not work. Then your actions on the field, are probably gonna be, based on what's happening on the field. But at least you have a guide, to guide the process of that session.
Did you address the coaching points yet?
Not yet, we're just
Yeah,
addressing
so
the
they
question.
mentioned, like, placing a how.
Like,
Yeah.
Boy, that makes my level so much better.
Yeah.
So just how,
No, put it in front of the can.
put it in.
How can we play fast? How can we?
How can we engage? How can we play ball?
I told you that I was gonna point that out.
I know they did tonight, but.
How did you know?
No, they give you credit.
On the rules here, there's offside trap, right? Or no?
No.
So here's the deal, okay? Okay, go ahead and switch the triangles like Julian says. Switch them. Yeah, switch it. So we can look at your design, so we can ask a few questions. Okay. Is that a goalie? That circle is the goalie?
No.
Okay.
It's out of goal.
Okay. So that first circle, before you put the goalie there, is a what?
Defender.
Just a defender.
Yeah.
Read your main principle.
Break lines to score, there's no line. That's a good point.
That's how you connect things, So what would you do? One defender can be a line. The 6, the holding mid by themselves, right? Are behind the attacking mids usually, right? They're in a line themselves, Okay. But would you want one defender line or 2 defenders?
So I think just as difficulty goes, like with my 7-year-olds, yeah, like a 3v1, just so they can kind of get the feel for it. But like with these kids today, like I'm gonna add a second defender and then a trailer defender.
Okay, good. Good point. Guys, for the D course, it is not designed for 7-year-olds. The curriculum is designed for 11 and 12-year-olds. Okay? So we start with 3-1 and we say, hey, it's 77, just to get you going. But really the objective in the course is to get you to the 9v9. Okay? They're not younger, there's a 9v9.
Yeah.
So at least 2 defender line would be really something I would start with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Exactly, engage. Right? Now, when the circles win the ball, what do they need to do? There you go.
So plugs as like little exits.
Exits, good, because they're that deep, that's fine. Okay. How does the ball start? How does the activity start?
So what I usually do is the coach plays it in from here and then they start.
Is that, so when we go to the 5 elements of a training session, organization, game-like, If it's a game like, would the ball start from there?
No.
There you
There's
go.
one behind.
I'm gonna start from somewhere, okay? Since we said this is activity 2, in terms of game like, are you guys okay? No, but the one he's done his activity 1. I'm trying to push him, he did it for 77. I'm trying to move him to 99. Are you okay with just those two puck goals? Or do you need another puck goal for correct game-like direction of the game?
Or maybe like 2 more as extra right here.
Okay, yeah, because the objective of the puck goals that I did in my first training session, those were not a transition, those were designed to train my kids to once the action is done, on the attack we do what?
Transition.
We recover. Those are your goals to recover, but that's not the main goal necessarily. So I had 2 on the side, but I also had 1 central, because I can't change the nature of the game. Game-like means that there's natural direction, forward and backward. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So, just keep in mind, this is your activity 2, so you're progressing beyond your 3.1, okay? What are your interactions? So choose 2 interactions.
Can we engage our opponent and how?
No, interaction. Choose your two interactions.
Like when?
Interactions are
When you talk.
when you're gonna go
Yeah.
to do something. Choose 2. Give me 2. What are they, number 1?
On the fly.
Coaching the flow,
Yeah.
And
natural stoppage, freeze. Choose 2.
Probably in the flow and natural stoppage.
Good. So you have flow and natural stoppage. I'm gonna take you to natural stoppage. What would you coach in natural stoppage?
I would say it depends on how the play ends. If we're scoring relatively easily, I would say
I'm gonna stop you. You started your answer with it depends. You're looking for a specific moment. Your answer is when I see this, I'm gonna step in with a stoppage. So based on your coaching points, based on your main principle of breaking lines to score,
yeah.
when would you step in with a stoppage?
So I noticed my kids were overpassing because they knew we were focusing on passing. So
No. What's your main principle?
break lines to score.
So when they,
When they break lines to score.
that's a good moment to say good job. So
Yeah.
go the other way. When
That's
would
in
you
the
step in?
flow.
When they don't do.
Okay.
When they don't break lines.
Now be specific. Looking at that, what's a problem you think would happen?
They would overpass.
Uh-huh.
There's another one you said earlier, actually. You said you have the ball and stop.
Yeah.
You said that was a problem that they have, so that might be one of the times you wanna, they just stop the play.
Yeah.
That's when you really tell you want to stop.
So
That'd be a good.
to Jimmy's point, when they fail to break a line to score, when there's an opportunity to do the thing they should do, and they fail to break a line to score, you know that your players tend to pass horizontally and don't break lines. So you could say, when I see my player play a safe pass instead of the pass they should have played, that's when I know I need to step in, based on what I know about my team, based on my principle of breaking lines to score. So there's a cheat for you guys. To Jimmy's question of when is an interaction? When they fail to accomplish your main principle. When they don't break lines to score. When they don't create a support, or they don't support the attack.
So the connection is, like Coach Adam is saying, you're gonna engage, we're gonna achieve the main principle, and that should take you to one of your coaching points. Which coaching points would you connect? Or not breaking the line?
Probably none of those, to be fair.
I think the second one, if you take away can and put how,
Yeah.
take away can, erase number 2, and put how,
Yeah.
okay? We're gonna refine that further.
But let's
How
say
can we find a player
Yeah.
behind which will help us do what? No, break the line so we can score. That's why I keep saying, guys, it's a narrative, it's a story. And it connects, the parts connects to one after another. Does that make sense? Okay, so there it is. Ask yourselves questions if it's gonna really resonate, okay? To Adam's point, see how you started, it depends. And it's not depends, you're looking for something specific,
Yeah.
okay? You can't be guessing out there. It's all in your hands, you're in control of the whole thing. See how that coaching point now comes out?
Yeah.
Now, if you film that, and you spot that one, and you coach that one,
Yeah.
then you achieved your objective with the T course.
Cool.
That's right. There's nothing else to say. You can spot that. But this is a good example for you guys. Really, really, it's a good job. Good job. Yeah, just let it simmer there.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know, how did you clean that? Oh, how did you clean that with that?
Do we have somebody like that maybe hasn't stepped up yet? We've had a kind of a recurring cast of characters
I
who
know.
have stepped in front of everyone. I don't feel brave to step forward that we haven't heard from yet.
Okay, guys, you don't have to be perfect. It is a rough draft of what we're going to do.
Alright. Feel brave after we
Yeah.
peppered in.
No, better.
Yeah, good night.
Yes, we'll do this.
Some more. So I'm gonna help you with
I have nothing on.
You know how to do it?
Start.
Yeah.
Excel?
Does somebody want to present theirs digitally while Papa writes his up?
Oh, yeah. So, no, that's fine, that's fine. Because-
We'll squeeze two and we're gonna go quick here, guys, so you get a full lunch.
Yes. With the parents, and your main principal.
Coaches, eyes up here, let's try and squeeze two in, get a little extra.
Alright, so my training session objective is to recognize space behind the defense and attack the space with the pass. My main principle is breaking the lines to advance the attack. Sub-principle is to provide vertical diagonal passing options. Player actions are going to be driving, dribbling, passing, supporting, or in parentheses I put positioning, as we're not allowed to use supporting. The areas going to be taking place, it's in the attacking half. Coaching points, what can we do to play the ball forward, where can we pass the ball forward, and what can we do to offer support in space. With the warm-up, I was talking about my activity one with the group. Coach Adams stepped in and provided very well. Obviously, he's going to provide very well for that. So that changes my activity two. But this is what my activity two looks like. It's going to change in the terms of I'm going to open it wide and make it more game realistic. It's going to be 4 defenders, the keeper. It's going to be my striker, wingers, and I think the two midfielders. The ball's going to start around the midfield line. It's going to start by playing the ball in. Ideally, what I was looking for was to break the lines by providing a diagonal pass. In my activity one, I was forcing it as opposed to letting it naturally happen by adding some type of incentive, to Coach Adams' point. So in this session that I'll run for my activity two, I'm going to offer them that if we can score off of a diagonal pass to the wings, and then obviously they cross and shoot or whatever, it'll count as either 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, whatever. Because the main point is I want them to attack with a diagonal pass. However, if they still advance the ball forward by attacking the space in behind, and they still score, it's, play on, they're doing great. There will be an offsides line. I or my assistant coach will be calling offsides. Again, my coaching points, what can you do to play the ball forward? Where can you pass the ball forward? What can we do to offer support? When will I enter? Give players 5 tries maybe increase it, evaluate after 5 attempts, natural breaks, freeze if objective isn't achieved, demo if needed. How am I going to deliver that message? Praise the positive, critique the negative in a positive way. I learned this from my wife, she's a teacher and a speech pathologist. Using a sandwich method where you give, where you give like a compliment, something that you praise on something they did well, you give them a critique, and then you finish it with a compliment. That way you're not bogging them down with like negativity at the end of that discussion. And
We can go there. Guys, I say this with 100% sincerity. I've been doing these courses for about 4 years now, 3 or 4 years. This is my favorite moment I think I've ever had. So we just had a coach say, critique the negative. I learned that from my wife. I love that so much. Okay, question for the group.
yes.
Question for the group. Well, let me ask you this: what do you mean by that offside line? Are you putting like a line on field?
No. I'm just here. I'm putting an imaginary offside line. But
You don't need to for your diagrams. You don't need to do that. We know what the offside line is.
Okay.
Question for the group: when you talk about breaking lines to advance the attack, and you look at the learning plan, what are the 2 ways it says you can do it?
Verse 1.
Getting in behind, being in behind.
Well, here it's a pass. What's the other way we can break lines?
Dribbling.
So why is it important to allow both to happen in a session?
Deciding between the two is important for the players to learn.
Say that one more time.
It's important for the players to learn when to use which.
Okay.
Decide between those 2 methods.
So here's what I like about taking restrictions off, okay? So we have our 3 defenders and our 3 attackers up top and our player here. And the 3 defenders say we know that they're trying to split lines, so we're going to say hyper compact, okay? We're going to say hyper compact. So this player says, okay, I'm going to play the feet. What decision would we encourage that player to make right there?
Dribble.
Is that breaking lines to advance the attack?
Yes.
Okay, so we do that, and now this guy says, uh-oh, coach is gonna get mad at me if I do that again, so he says, I'm gonna go take that away. Now what do we see? Now we see, hopefully, we see that moment there. So now the players learn, when the defender's squeezed in, ask for defeat, break lines with the dribble. When the defender works his way out, exploit the space. Everything that you're given in that learning plan is purposeful, and it's on, I'll say this way, it's on purpose, and it's there for a reason. Breaking lines to advance the attack on the dribble or the pass means make a decision which one makes sense then. So can you just pull up your activity again?
Yep.
I like 99% of what I saw. Here's my question. If we're saying break lines to advance the attack on the dribble or the pass, that midfielder, what are they going to do 9 times out of 10 looking at that activity? Are they going to dribble or pass? Who said dribble? Why?
There's no defender on there.
Okay. So now that player's probably going to dribble. Where are they going to end up?
In front of the goal.
Well,
If they're good.
a defender.
They're going to next to a defender. So in what line? The midfield line or the attack line?
Attacking line.
Can you play a diagonal pass to a player who's in the same line as you?
No.
It gets a little bit tougher. So what do we need to add to this activity to make it a little bit more realistic?
18-yard box.
A defender where? In the midfield. In the midfield. So now that player's pressured, and when they're pressured, do they have to dribble or pass? Let's say you wanted to make it really easy, but you still want to apply some pressure. What change would you make this activity? That the midfield players are still pressured, but they have the ability to play that diagonal pass.
Higher up in the field.
So maybe you could move the starting points a little higher. What else?
Take off the defender.
Well, now we're in the same problem.
Earlier we played with 2 center backs and a 6, and if they could do that, they play with the 2 back and put one of the guys up.
Let's keep the same idea. We have our front line of 3, we have midfielders who want to get the ball forward. 1v0 doesn't do it. 1v1 makes it too hard. So what could you do in the midfield? Add another midfielder and a defender. So now, if this is our picture,
You did say that, right?
if we have this, now the player has to find the pass for the pressure, or maybe they find a square pass, and this player, it looks a little bit more like the game, but they still have a chance to succeed. And if we have a 2v1 in this space, we want that moment. We want to see them do that. If your team gets better and better, you go to that 2v2. But just think about how we tell our players to do certain things, and then we design activities where doing that thing would be unsuccessful. Universally, most coaches would tell a player, if you have space and you're on the ball, take the space with the dribble.
Yeah.
If they do that in this activity, it takes away from their ability to do what we want them to do. Cool. Do we need to add? No? Yes?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Just trying to help them.
It's okay. Papa, round of applause, guys. This is the one that takes us into lunch.
Alicia is my guy, so.
So just real quick on that.
I'll do it later.
How he had it, and he would have
Marinated.
coached it, it would have been enough to get to pass, or?
That right there, I have a sneaking suspicion that if you walk on the field and did that 4v3, he wouldn't have gotten his coaching moment because that midfielder would have joined the attacking line, and we would have just had people next to each other and no supporting the attack because there's an offside line created by the defenders, and it would have been really difficult to find his coaching moment.
So, for example, he does have that, goes, does it, and on the fly realizes that, and if he switches as those defenders, as them in the video, would that be good enough to pass?
Good enough. Well, what do we call that? If you don't like what you're seeing, you do what?
Adjust.
Check and adapt.
Yeah.
Do we say good or bad to that?
Good.
Absolutely good. And don't, listen,
Because it doesn't.
not good enough to pass, good enough to meet the competencies of a D licensed coach.
Yeah, that's a good point, okay? Very good point you just made. You have to meet the competencies, you know, to get the team. Remember what I said, guys, I'm gonna say it so many times. Your plan is nothing but a hypothesis. You go to the field, and guess what? All those circles and triangles, they start doing what? They start moving. Because on paper, they're not moving. And so you have to check and adapt based on what you see out there. And that's coaching.
All right, Paula, take us to lunch here. Come on, give us a good one.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna do. My objective will be to create chance in the attacking half. So my main principle will be finish the attack, and my sub principle will be engage the opponent, find the free player, and pass. Take on 1v1 to create a score. And my player actions will be driving, dribbling, passing, and shooting. So we will use 11 players, 6 attackers, and 4 defenders with the keeper, the goalie. So my coaching point will be how can we score, and how can we find a free player, how can we engage the opponent, and